So let's see if you can answer the following trivia. What all these following names have in common besides being famous and besides being genius? Okay, so we all know that these guys and women are genius and famous, but what other thing they might have in common? So here are the names. Let's see if you can answer this. Pablo Picasso, Mozart, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Edison, Vincent van Gogh, Friedrich Nietzsche, Stephen King, Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, Marie Curie, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Nikola Tesla. That is the list of names. Now, what they have in common? Well, here is what they have in common. They all are stupidly prolific. They are all stupidly prolific. And in this episode, the whole aim of our work today is that you, my friend, exactly as these characters, names that I just mentioned, the aim is that you become also stupidly, ridiculously, amazingly prolific. Are you ready, baby? Welcome to the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2. This is the episode 509 with your host, Dr. Derek Israel. And before we put you in the prolific journey, before we establish the foundation for you to become a prolific man or woman, let me just mention that we have an exclusive and private group in Telegram. The link is in the description. So if you want to get to know and to share with people that probably as you are prolific and they are working towards personal development as a high value, well, join the group. It's completely free and the link is on the description below. So, my friend, what is to be prolific? What is to be prolific? Well, this term comes from a very biological root in the sense that it means to be able to give a lot of fruit, to be able to gest and to germinate a lot of, mm, how can I say, a lot of children, may be another metaphor. Fruits may be another metaphor. A lot of production, a lot of results, a lot of products may be another metaphor. A prolific person is a person that produces a lot of whatever it produced. So notice in the list that I gave you, these guys and women, they were all from different industries, different disciplines. Nevertheless, they all were prolific. For example, Mozart We know that Mozart was a musician. And Mozart, interesting enough, he just worked like for 5 or 7 years. If you go and you study the biography of Mozart, you will know that he was a very good student of music, but when he started composing his original work, like he spent like 5 or 7 years of working nonstop and then he suddenly died. Like all that we hear from Mozart was made in a very short period of time. But nevertheless, he was very prolific. He produced a lot of sonatas, a lot of songs, a lot of music in a very short period of time. But in another whole industry, the industry of war, the industry of conquering, the industry of being an emperor, emperor, uh, Napoleon Bonaparte, well, he was very prolific. He almost conquered the whole world. Like he conquered France, he conquered a lot of land, and he was very prolific in the art of war. He produced a lot of results. Now you may say, but Derek, being a imperialist and being conquering land, that is not exactly a very productive, high conscious thing to do. And you may be right, but that doesn't mean that he was not prolific. That he was not very high conscious. That is one thing. Another thing is removing the fact that the guy was a hell of a prolific man. And in another different industry, for example, Steve Jobs, when he was in town, he produced with the help of his co-founder Wozniak and the team. Obviously, these guys, they didn't accomplish these things by themselves. They have teams and people working together. But Steve Jobs produced the Apple II, the Mac, the iPod, the iPad, the iPhone, uh, good amounts of movies in Pixar's like Toy Story and stuff like that. So he was very prolific in the industry of technology, entertainment, and and computers, basically technology. So notice how you can be prolific as an artist, as a musician like Mozart, as a conqueror like Napoleon, like a entrepreneur like Steve Jobs, or maybe as a scientist like, for example, Marie Curie. She was a physicist, very successful, very prolific, very intelligent. She was hanging out with the most intelligent man of her generation, Marie Curie. So if you're a woman and you haven't studied Marie Curie very deep, well, you have a new task because she's a model for all men and women that wants to be successful by being a minority, because she was a minority. Still today, women can be considered a minority group, like a group that suffered a lot of stereotypes, systemic discrimination, systemic um, sexism, even today. But back in the day, obviously, it was more intense. So to be prolific is to be able to produce a lot. Like for example, bunnies are considered to be prolific because they can reproduce biologically a lot of baby bunnies when they are, you know, giving light or giving birth. Also with chicken with eggs, or a rat, or a woman that produced, I don't know, 10 children in her life. That is considered prolific. Now, it's something very important that I want to mention. To be prolific, it is not only about producing quantity. And this is essential. It's also about producing quality. For example, if a chicken produced or reproduced 10 eggs, but only one of those 10 eggs gave, you know, sorry, if a hen, if a hen put 10 eggs, if only one chicken came out of that bread, she was prolific or not? What do you think? No, she was not prolific because only one was with the exact quality to be able to produce a living being. So, for example, if an entrepreneur woman produced 10 products in 1 month, and only one of those 10 products is very good, well, maybe she's not that prolific. So it's not only about quantity, it's about quality as well. But for example, in the contrary aspect, if a man produced uh, only one book in his life, only one book, and it was a very famous book. Like for example, there is a case about this. The man that wrote, I forgot his name. Anyways, I forgot this name about this author that he wrote one book. It was a bestseller. He made a lot of money about it with help of this book, and he never published again. And he wrote more, but he didn't publish because he felt that publishing was like mistreating his art. Like he was writing for the public instead of writing for himself. So this writer, we can consider him not prolific because he produced a very good book, a one in a lifetime book, but nothing else. Nothing else. It is at least public, right? So although he had one good product, it was only one. So quantity is also very, very important, you see. So why do you think it's important to be prolific? Hmm, interesting question. Why to be prolific? Why we should aspire this in our life? Well, I have been telling you this since maybe 2018 now. Like for 4 years, I have been telling you this continuously, and I will repeat it again. And I am emphasizing a lot of it in this Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2, in which we have an episode every Monday through Friday. So if you want to join, it's completely free. You can join us and grow grow a lot from it. But personal development is a lot about what you produce with your work, what you produce with your level. So I don't care if you are advancing a lot, if you have nothing to share with the world that reflect your current personal development, you are restricting the world of your fruit. You are restricting the world of your essence. And you may be the most enlightened woman, the most powerful man in the world, but if you don't give us something tangible in which we can appreciate your greatness, how we will know? And I know that this is a capitalist kind of mindset, and sometimes in spirituality we should not aspire to create things because that demands sometimes attachment, but that doesn't mean that aspiring to create these things are bad. You know, Jesus Christ was a very prolific man in what he does, like convincing people about his faith, or he was very prolific in doing miracles, although he was a mystic, also with Buddha, Wantama, also with Mohammed. They were mystics, also they were prolific. So maybe you are very spiritual and you are practicing detachment, you are practicing burning out your karma, you are practicing this stuff. And now you may think that you don't need to do any type of work, but that is just wrong. If you want to really demonstrate your personal growth, well, why don't you create a big corpus of work, a long term masterpiece based on your own creativity and vision? And believe me, if you dig deep enough, if you go inside yourself deep enough, you will find there a source of infinite creativity, an artistic sense, an artistic river that is impossible to contain. And you will be able to channel this through a medium, maybe painting, maybe singing, maybe podcasting. I don't know. It will depend. But you should be aspiring to do this and taking practical actions to achieve this, because there is no greater life, my friend, than the artistic life. A life based on art, creativity, inventiveness, and solution focus. It is amazing, this type of life. And if you combine this with love, with consciousness, with meditation, with conscious sexuality, well, you will have a great life. So that's why it's so important for you to be prolific, because it's about to be happy, it's about to be fulfilled, generative, prolific. So I will give you nine, let's say 10, because I will give you one like a bonus before. I will give you 10 traits or characteristics that highly prolific people display or show or do or act or have, for you to copy these characteristics and to work with them as treasures for becoming stupidly prolific in your life. So let's start by the bonus, because I didn't put it as an official one. And when I was thinking about this podcast before starting recording, I realized, oh my gosh, I need to say this one. Let me say it at first. So, one of the traits that highly prolific people have is that they are able to fund their hyperproduction. And what I mean to fund is that they are able to make it economically sustainable. So, yes, be thinking about in what type of area do you want to be prolific, and also be thinking about how you will implement the next elements that I will be sharing with you in order to be prolific, the next traits. But also, I want you to have a business mindset, a marketer mindset right now, because it's very hard to be prolific and to be poor at the same time. And some of these names that I mentioned in the beginning, they suffer from this. For example, Vincent van Gogh and Friedrich Nietzsche, also Nikola Tesla, they experienced a lot of poverty in their life. Well, Nikola Tesla, not that much, but Friedrich Nietzsche definitely. And who was the other one that I said? Friedrich Nietzsche, and yeah, and Vincent van Gogh. And maybe that is correlated with they may had a psychopathology. I don't know. I don't like to say that because obviously they were not my patients and they are long dead. So for us to say, oh, Vince van Gogh was bipolar or Friedrich Nietzsche, he was psychotic, that is a very unprofessional thing to say because at the end of the day, we are just analyzing stories about them. We are not analyzing them, right? We don't have them alive to be able to express themselves. But yeah, they were very poor in certain moments of their life. And that is not a good thing. You don't want to be like a very prolific man or woman and also being very poor. You want to be able to commercially gain some resources related to your prolific work, right? So how do you do it? Well, this is not an episode for that specifically, but what I can tell you is that you need to mix your production with a lot of training in marketing and sales. And a lot of artists and a lot of creative people, they don't like this part of the business. They only like the creative part. And that represents a problem because one, you need to sell. So maybe, or you find someone that can do that work for you, or you learn to do it yourself. So that basically, so let's go with the 9 traits, the official traits of highly prolific people for you to adopt these mindsets and traits moving forward in the Mastermind Podcast Challenge, but also in your life. So the first trait is that they create corpus of work, a corpus of work. And a corpus is like a body of work. I think that corpus is like the Latin word for body, maybe. I don't know. But I know that in Spanish is cuerpo, and corpus is like a very similar word, so maybe. So when we are thinking about prolific people, we are thinking about people that is long term in their careers. They didn't have jobs. No, 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 no. They had careers. Notice the difference. A career is a long-term thing. It's a thing that combines different disciplines, different ventures, different things. A career is something that unites different professional elements together in a very long and generative frame of time. We're not talking about 5 years, 10 years. In the case of Mozart, yes, but Mozart was an exception. Mozart was an exception. But most prolific people, they had careers of 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years. And in that frame, they create a body of work, a structure, an infrastructure of work that do not have any comparison. For example, Stephen King, he's the author of It, the author of Carrie, the author of Pet Cemetery, the author of the most horrific stories of all time. He's a terror writer, a horror writer, a writer of mystery. Now, that guy have like 70 years or maybe 80 right now, and that guy's still publishing a couple of books per year. If you go to a Walmart, if you go to a Walgreens and you look for the bookshelves, you always will see something related to Stephen King. He was so prolific that he had to change his name in order to produce more books because under his own name, Stephen King, he was old book. He could not produce more by contract. But he then changed his name and he produced more books under another name to be able to keep producing. He was so prolific. Well, that is a career for 40 or 50 years of non-stop writing. Now, now you may have 20 years or 30 or 40 or 50. I don't care. How many years do you still have left to create a body of work? That is the real question. And you are still on time. You can create a good body of work in 10 years. You can create it. But you need to be very disciplined and very focused. Now, most people don't want to do this, and that's why they don't become prolific. Not because they don't can do it, because they don't have the capacity. It's because they do not want. Desire, my friend, is the first step. Remember that mini series that I did called Think and Grow Rich mini series entirely on English and for free. Look at in my YouTube channel, Derek Israel, Think and Grow Rich mini series. It's a 10 episode mini series. The first episode is about desire. You need to have the burning desire to do the thing, or you will not do the thing, my friend. Desire, you need to desire profoundly to create a body of work like no other, with an organizational framework inside like no other, with harmony like no other, with originality like no other. That is the virtue of being prolific, my friend. Second trait that you need to develop to become prolific, and that people that are prolific do, they don't rely on past successes. So a lot of people, what they do is they have one good punch, one good hit, one good success, and that's it. Prolific people do not do this. Prolific people have success and they continue having success forever. They don't stop. They don't say, oh, but last year I produced this awesome book, so I don't need to write another one right now because the other one is selling so well. Imagine if Michael Jackson, a very prolific artist and singer and performer, if he just stopped after Beat It or after Billie Jeans or after Thriller, that's it. Well, it will be a very bad, decision for the world because we enjoyed so much other songs of Michael Jackson rather, beside those ones. Imagine if J.K. Rowling wrote only the first book of Harry Potter, only the first one, and that's it. So sad, right? The fact that J.K. Rowling is so prolific is due to her capacity of creating not only the Harry Potter universe, but also other universe related to that, other books, other corpus of work related to that. She didn't rely only in Harry Potter. She have been writing after Harry Potter a lot. Now, those do not have the same success with in comparison with Harry Potter, but she's still very prolific. Imagine if Pixar's only throw or only launch Toy Story, but nothing else. How much we will be missing, huh? How much? So I think that you get the concept now. You cannot rely on your past success. You need to be moving forward every moment, oriented to the new thing, to the future, enjoying also what you did, but not relying on that, going for more. The next trait of prolific people is that they are intrinsically motivated. They are not motivated by you. They are not motivated by awards. They are not motivated by money most of the time. Yes, they like those. We all like recognition. We all like a well earned payment for our work. We all like that. But that is not our primary motivation when we want to be prolific. For example, it is well known that Steve Jobs, he was not there only for the money. He used to have one of the most simple houses, not too much in there, although he was a millionaire, multimillionaire man. He was there because he liked inventiveness. He liked to move humanity forward with inventions. He was intrinsically motivated. Van Gogh, for example. Van Gogh, he was poor. No one bought his work, only his brother. And I think that a sister also, like, they helped him. They didn't believe in his art, though. They just tried to, give him some money for him to survive. But he was so intrinsically motivated. His motivation came from the inside that he didn't care about it. He just produce and produce and create and create and create and create one after the other, one after the other. And if you read some of the Van Gogh's letters, and I recommend that you do, go and Google Van Gogh's letters to his brother, and you will download his mind. You will learn a lot about art, philosophy, love, creation, frustration, about reading Van Gogh's letters. And he told his brother through the letters, I cannot wait to buy more paint, to buy more canvas, because I need to continue producing, producing, producing. And he used to do the same paint one after the other, one after the other one, until he had the exact thing that he used to imagine. No one was motivating him. He didn't watch a Derek Israel video about motivation or about being prolific to be prolific. When we are talking about being prolific, we are talking about being self motivated. If you are waiting for someone to motivate you to create a corpus of work, boy, you have a problem. Houston, who will motivate you? Well, you can play always in YouTube this type of podcast, some motivations videos, but at the end of the day, motivational videos, they do not work every time. They have diminishing returns. It is so much. There are so many videos that you can watch in one time. There are so many subliminals that you can put in your audios. Subliminals for motivation or subliminals for creativity, whatever. There's a point in which more of that doesn't work. This is something that needs to come from your center, from your inspiration, from your fusion with spirit. If you are not fused with spirit, you cannot be prolific. Let's go with the next trait. Oh, wait a minute. All right, so I suffer something weird, and it's that my sticky note felt. Just give me 1 second. All right, this is the things that happen in life. So my sticky note felt, and here I have the whole list. Anyways, let's continue. The number 4 is that people that are prolific, they are hyper productive. And I already did an episode about hyperproductivity. I don't remember if it was in Spanish or in English. I don't remember, but you can search it, Derek Israel hyperproductivity, to see if it is in English, or you can, if you know Spanish, you can search Derek Israel hiperproductividad en mi canal de YouTube. So I strongly recommend you, if it is in your native language, to watch that episode. Also, I will be doing a course specifically for this term because it's so amazing. And basically, being hyper productive is to design and implement processes and systems for helping you or facilitating you to become a machine of production. Now, it is not the same to be hyper productive than to be prolific. But most prolific people are hyper productive. So we have a correlation here, a correlation. So not every hyperproductive individual will be prolific because, as I said in the beginning, to be prolific, we need to talk about quality also. And when we are hyperproductive, we don't necessarily will have a lot of quality. When we are hyperproductive, we are experimenting a lot. And this is one of the most important traits of being prolific, high experimentation. They're experimenting, experimenting, experimenting. And let's be real, 9 of 10 things are not good when we are experimenting a lot. So that's why the prolific man or woman combines very good experimentation, but with high degree of dexterity and artistry, in the sense that they can create with high amount of quality. Not always, not always, not every song will be great, not every movie will be great, not every story will be great, but you understand the point. We need a balance. So next trait is that people that are hyperproductive, they care, protect, and manage their energy. And this is very important, dude, because your energy is what will, oh my hair is crazy. Your energy is what will drive you forward. So for example, how you care for your energy, how you care for it. Well, you limit addictions. That is one that is very important. If you want to be highly prolific and you have a serious addiction of to cigarette, that will be a problem because you are not caring for your energy. You are not caring for your body. You are not caring for your health. And you need those to be prolific. You need to care of your body. You need to care your mind, your mental health, your self-care. Now, do not confuse self-care with distraction. Do not confuse those. And do not lie to yourself saying, I am doing self-care, while in reality, you are distracting from your life purpose. Do not confuse those. But yeah, sometimes self-care is important with a right amount of balance. Also, caring in relation to the people that you hang with. Negative people, they will drag you down and they will make you less prolific. That's why Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the guys that I mentioned at the beginning, he was a loner. He produced most of his books and his works prolifically alone. He didn't want friends. He didn't want company because he knew that negative people, they will drag him down. They will drag his creativity down. So also very important is to manage your energy, to protect it as your most finite resource. So imagine that you are a source of energy and that everyone and everything in the universe is conspiring to remove that energy from you. And your whole duty in this life is to protect with your all might your own energy. So protect it, because that is your essence. Next characteristic of prolific people is that they are highly original. Now, this do not mean that they do not steal from other artists. I have a very popular episode on Spanish that is called Roba como Artista, Steal Like an Artist. That is also a book. You can search for that book in Amazon. Steal Like an Artist is a very good book, for being able to create better art. And in that book, I explained you that Pablo Picasso used to say that good artists copy, great artists steal. What that means? Well, artists, we are stealing all the time ideas, styles, patterns, colors, melodies, depending on the context and the type of art. Now, when you steal 1,000 pieces and configure those pieces together in a singular way, then you become your own artist. So, for example, Picasso used to do this a lot. Also, Sam Walton used to do this when he was very prolifically creating one of the most powerful empires, retail empires in the history. Not the one of the most, the most powerful empire of the industry, in the industry of retailing, Walmart. Sam Walton is the founder of Walmart, and he was always doing this. He was always going to stores, small stores, and copying and stealing their processes, their prices, their products. Also, Picasso do this a lot with other artists. And it's not like they will put the exact same thing that they are stealing. No, they will steal the thing and then they will produce a whole new thing with that thing, because they will mix that thing with the things that they already had in the repertoire and the things that they will acquire in the future. So you will never kind of know from where they stole what they stole. But that is art. Art is a mix of stolen pieces. This idea about being prolific, this is not my idea. I stole it from Nietzsche. I was reading a Nietzsche book one day and he mentioned something about being a prolific artist. So I said, oh, that sounds interesting. So I stole that word, prolific, and I researched it. And then I said, oh, this is a very cool thing. And then I put it in my agenda for doing this podcast. And it was in my podcast, like in my agenda, in my schedule for maybe like 2 years. And now finally I'm doing the episode. But I took this idea from another person. Now, I am copying the Nietzsche work? No. Nietzsche never had a podcast. Nietzsche never had this kind of technology. So this is my own work, but I stole an idea. And this is originality. This work is original, although I stole the idea. I stole the inspiration. So it's not about not looking around when we are being original. Yes, we look around and we steal a lot. But when it comes down to create the final product, damn, man, you create something that is only possible by you. Only possible by you. It's like a weird combination, like you are. A weird combination, a singular combination, an extraordinary combination. You see. Another trait that high prolific people do, and I am encouraging you to pursue, is that they are no easily distracted away from their life purpose. And it's so easy, my friend, to be distracted from your life purpose. It is so easy. Let me tell you a personal story. I have been in this business of doing podcasts, videos, writings on social media for the last 5 years, almost six, at least in my personal brand. I used to work in social media before, but it was with other companies, not with myself, not for myself, right? So, um, in these almost 6 years, I have been distracted sometimes from my life purpose. And it's so tough to be distracted. And sometimes I have been distracted because I need to meditate a lot. or I need to evolve, or I need to transform drastically spiritually. Sometimes I was more distracted because my daughter was born, or because my wife was demanding more time, or because my university was demanding more time for my doctoral dissertation or my internship, blah, blah, blah. I have been distracting sometimes. But for me, this is a war against distraction. Yes, I have lost the war sometimes, but here I am. Here I am. And this is the episode 506 of this podcast in 3 years. So, yes, I have been distracted, but not forever. I always find a way back to my life purpose. And that is what it's all about, my friend. You will be distracted sometimes of your life work, of your body of work, of your work corpus. But it's your duty, your responsibility to come back to it every time, better than ever, more focused than ever, and with a new lesson learned. It will happen. Don't get super frustrated with it. Don't get super annoyed with it. It will happen. But the secret is coming back always to your nucleus, to your center. And I think that is one of the things that makes me a potential prolific artist. Now, I don't consider myself prolific yet, although I have more than 1,000 videos, more than 500 podcasts, thousands of writings, more than 40 books on production at the same time right now. And I am almost publishing my first book. It will be available in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. So yes, I finally have my first book almost done, almost ready to be published. So this is coming. Um, and yes, I can consider myself a little bit of prolific, but at the end of the day, I only have 5 years of career in my personal brand. I haven't accumulated enough quantity and quality to consider myself so prolific as this guy that I was mentioning to you before. But that is my goal. That is my goal. So I'm shooting for a career of 60 or 70 more years. I have 27 now. So you have a 70 years career. I can, if I maintain myself healthy, I think that I can work until 100 years. And if I am able to do it, to work until 100 years or more, how prolific at the end of my career I will be considered? How? What do you think? Very prolific, right? If I sustain this radio and this frequency, very prolific. But this is not about me. I am doing the work. I am grinding right now. It's about you. How you will become prolific, bro or sister. How you will become. This is what it's all about. That is what you are not here because you like the nice hair of Dr. Derek Israel or the nice voice or accent. Maybe you like those. Okay, that's good. Thank you. But you are here because you want to be in a whole new different level of operation and being. So this is your new level of operation and being prolific. Next trait is that prolific people, they intercross multiple industries or disciplines in their creations. So they intercross, they interchange, they fuse, they merge different ideas together. They melt different paradigms together to create original stuff. So for me, the fact that I am so creative is due to my high diversity portfolio in my intellectual repertoire about different disciplines. Like I didn't conform with only psychology. No, I went and I studied for myself while I was studying in the university psychology. I went and I studied by myself marketing, business theory, spirituality, religion, art, personal development, self-help, sexuality, technology. You see, those are like very important subjects that makes me who I am today. I am not a normal psychologist that I will talk to you about. It's very important to have mental health because this is no. I leave that type of work to psychologists that are conformist enough to only talk about psychology. That is not my proposal. My proposal is to intercross different domains in a very beautiful harmony and a pragmatical system. That is what I'm trying to do. I don't know if I am accomplishing it or not. At the end of the day, I cannot self assess that because I am biased. You will assess that. You will say, Derek, you did it. Or Derek, you failed. Or Derek, yeah, you kind of did it. Or I don't know. I just know that I am in the journey. I just know that I am just trying. I am doing my best. I am trying to be prolific in combining different paradigms, different systems together. Like, for example, Da Vinci, he combines art, architecture, engineering, science, mysticism, spirituality, drawing, numbers, celestial bodies, astrology, physics, physics. What else in his inventions? Numerology. Da Vinci was an excellent cross discipline merger. So do not conform in one area only. Go and explore other areas. Combine them and you will become more prolific. So if you're a musician, study rock, study rap, study salsa, study Japan music, study music of Brazil, study different sounds, and then you prolifically create a thing. Create a different sound. And the last trait that I will mention in this episode for you to become prolific is that what the hell I wrote there? Just give me a break because they never. Oh, okay. I understood. Yes, for my whole life, I have been having problems understanding my own letter. And obviously, everyone else have problems understanding my letter. So I'm showing you guys in my YouTube. So if you're seeing this in video, you can see my letter. It's very difficult. So I was trying to understand this one, the nine. But yeah, it says they never retire or go on vacations. High prolific people never go on vacations. They live in vacations because they live doing what they love. When you do what you love, you always are in vacations. I am not working right now doing this podcast. I am on vacations right now. I am in paradise. I am doing what I love. I am talking, I am expressing, I am doing art, I am performing, I am doing business, I am getting clients, I am doing marketing, I am getting attention, I am helping people, I am inspiring people, I am pushing the needle of humanity forward, I am doing all this stuff. I am creating my prolific body of work all in one episode, in one moment, in this present moment. Do you think that I'm working? Do you see me working right now? No, I'm on vacations, baby. Do you think that I want to retire? No, I do not want to retire because I do not want to work. I want to profit my passion. I don't want to work. I want to be able to fund my lifestyle with my love, not to work. And I am doing that. So if you are in a position in your life in which you are waiting for vacations to be happy, you need to change your life right now. If you are in a stage in your life in which you are waiting for Friday to be happy, dude, you need to drastically change right now, please. Because prolific people love so much what they do that they not take vacations. For example, if I right now, yes, I'm working on this podcast, I'm working in a lot of projects that are coming this week and next week and in this couple of months, right? But then let's say I decide to, okay, so as soon as Saturday, so today is Tuesday, but last Saturday I decided to go to Sedona in Arizona to hike on one of the most powerful mountains or rocks there that is called Bell Rock. And I will be uploading a couple of videos that I shoot there in my YouTube channel. So if you are interested, just search for Sedona Vortex in my YouTube channel, Derek Israel Vortex, Spiritual Vortex, and you may find the videos. So um, I was kind of in a vacation, right, when I went there to hike. But while I was there, I was doing videos, I was writing books because I was so inspired in that setting that I continue working. Now, I was on vacation, but I was working inside my vacation because it's not working, it's loving, it's expressing, it's being prolific, it's creating. It's a different thing. And if money didn't exist, I do it anyways. I share it anyways because it's like my nucleus, it's my epicenter. So forget about the idea of retirement and forget about the idea of vacations in your life. If you are really growing, my friend, if you are really advancing, you will never retire. Never. Because you will create something with so much meaning for you that you will need no rest of it. No rest. Not not to escape, not to run, not to distract. And don't get me wrong, sometimes original art is difficult and it's not everything pink, but in the end of the day, it's one of the most amazing things that you can do. So, my friend, these were the traits for you to become highly prolific. And I want you to understand this is a direct challenge for you. So, if you are watching the Mastermind Podcast Challenge, understand that working towards being prolific is a direct challenge. So, if you want to continue learning every day different terms, different tools for personal development, hey, follow the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2 every day 4 a.m. MST. Yes, sometimes I connect at 4:30, 4:15, but yeah, more or less 4 a.m. MST. And every video is in Spotify, also on YouTube. The audio is in Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, in every platform possible you can find the Mastermind Podcast. So now I want you to make a comment below. So if you made it this far, make a comment below and just tell the community in what aspect, in what art, or in what type of work you commit to become prolific and how you will do this. Like, I just don't want the area that you will determine that you will become prolific, but how you will do it. Like, you can invent some other strategies, or you want, if you want to share some other that you already know, or maybe to rephrase what I already told you, but in your own context. I don't care how you do it. Remember, you are commenting mostly for yourself. Yes, we read it and we benefit from others' comments, but at the end of the day, it's just your brain. It's your brain who is organizing itself while you're writing. And that is the whole purpose of it, because you will solidify better the knowledge that you acquire in this podcast if you take the time and the effort and leave the comment below. So please do that. Also, share this in your profiles or with a friend or with your mother or with your artistic friend and say, hey, man, I love your art. And I think that you need to become prolific. And he will say, what? What is that? And you will say, look, watch this almost 2 hour podcast about it. And he will say, screw you, I will not do that. And you will say, yes, you will, because you want to be prolific and you don't want to be waiting for vacations and for retirement. So shut up and listen to the podcast. And he will say, okay, so do that. Also, remember that you can fund and you can promote this free podcast by Patreon. The link is in the description. And just with $5 per month, just five, dude, more cheap than a coffee, you can literally help this podcast being to be sustainable economically and also receive a lot of benefits and exclusive content in return. So check out Patreon on the description. And also, let me tell you this, and I will finish with this. It will be very difficult for you to really be prolific, to be prolific, if you don't know what you are here for. If you don't have a definite answer of your own reason to be, your life purpose. You will have no direction, you will have no motivation, no inspiration, at least long term, and in the capacity that is demanded for you to become stupidly prolific. So, the first real step to actualize everything that you have learned in this podcast is to connect with your life purpose. And to connect with it, you first need to discover what is. And this is the most important venture of your whole life to discover why you are here. So you are born two times. You are born when you was given birth by your mother and also by the time that you discover why you was given birth and why you are here. So I want to help you to understand your why. I want to help you to answer your most deepest existential questions about life and what is your purpose in this life. So go to the description below and access derekisrael.com. Go there to courses, and in courses, go to the Manifesting Your Life Purpose course. That is a life changing course. It's an all in one course. You don't need to buy anything else in your life to connect and to discover and to manifest your life purpose. It includes a workbook, it includes guided meditation, and you can do it in your own time, in your own schedule. Everything will be granted to you by email with just one button. If you take this course, you will live a life of direction. You will not feel lost anymore. You will not feel all over the place anymore. And you will know exactly what you will or need to do every day of your life because you will understand the big picture of your life. And when you understand the big picture of your life, aka slash life purpose, you can organize daily what you will be doing in order to materialize that vision. But if you don't know your life purpose, how the hell you will organize yourself? And towards what you will organize yourself? You will organize yourself for your boss duty, for your boss vision, for your mother's vision, for your son, children's vision, for everyone else instead of yourself. I don't want that for you. I want you to become original, an epicenter, a prolific man or woman that understand and manifest its life purpose. And I will help you. So check out the course, enroll in the course, and I see you in your prolific